Hey everybody, it's Jim here, and today we're going to be doing another guitar comparison, and it's going to be between this PRS S2 Custom 2408 and this PRS CE24. And we're going to start off with the sound samples, but in case you're not familiar with the signal chain that we use to do these demos, guitar into the Jackson Audio Optimist overdrive pedal, into the Mesa Boogie Rectiverb 25 mic'd up by an SM57, into the Focusrite 18i8 interface. So let's hear how they stack up. All right, now that we've heard what these things sound like, the most obvious difference between these two guitars, although not the only difference, has to be acknowledged. This has American-made 8515 pickups in it. This has import-made 8515S pickups in it. When it comes down to the clean tones, it is night and day in the room which one is which based on that and that alone. Now, granted, when you buy the 2408 version of the S2, you get 2 additional pickup switching configurations. We didn't use any of those in this demo because there was no way I could do that on the CE24. But it has to be said here, if the biggest problem you have with a guitar is the electronics, that's the easiest problem there is to fix. So, before we go any further, I want to talk about the feel of these two. Now, starting off with the S2 here, you have a mahogany body with a set mahogany neck on it and a maple cap. The CE24 mahogany body, but a bolt-on maple neck that is a satin finish. I would have thought between the two of them, the biggest difference in feel would have been the fact that it's a satin finish versus a gloss finish on this one, but that's not the case. Despite both of them having a pattern thin neck profile, because the new S224s have a pattern thin neck profile, which I think is a pretty nice change, the actual feel, once you start to get around the 9th fret and upward, it just feels much more compact, much tighter. Whereas when I'm playing the CE24, I don't have that kind of stability feeling to it in the same way as this. This feels much more like a Gibson, as you would expect, and then the CE24 lends itself to feel more like a Stratocaster in my own experience of playing those kinds of instruments. Now, one of the first videos I ever posted on this channel was of a somewhat review of a CE24, and my final analysis of that guitar, I stand by it 100%, and that was, if you play Fender style instruments but you want a little bit more beef without that huge kind of shock of just the playability being so different from what you're used to, there's nothing that comes close to the CE24 in that department, for me at least. This guitar just feels at home. If you're a Strat player, you're going to pick up one of these guys and it's going to feel very natural, as opposed to going to a Les Paul or an SG, God forbid. Something like that is going to feel a little bit more foreign. This one just feels really nice compromise of in between while also still being its own thing. The scale length has a little bit to do with it. Both of these guitars have the typical PRS 25-inch scale length, whereas a Fender is 25.5 and a Gibson is 24.75. I can't say enough of good things about how well they build both of these instruments, but I can definitely strongly recommend, if you want a guitar that you're not going to have to put any money into, the CE24, that's the way to go. But switching back to the S2 here, playability-wise, it's right on par. The feel is a little bit different, like I said, because of the neck and the neck construction and how it is actually assembled into the body. But outside of that, playability-wise, there's not a lot in it between the two of them. There really shouldn't be, considering the new price costs. But if you're okay with throwing a little bit of money into pickups, buy one of these guys used, laugh your way to the bank, because the playability is there, the feel is there. All it's needing really is the pickups, and it's something where if you don't play these guitars back to back, you might be perfectly fine with the pickups that are in this. They're not bad pickups. It's just the 8515s that are American made. Oh, they're just that little extra sweeter, and especially, like I said again, in the split coil mode, it's not even close, in my honest opinion, between the two of them. But now I'd like to hear from you guys. Leave me a comment. Let me know which one of these guitars, if you're interested in either of these models, would you go for and why? Very interested to see your guys' responses. I love seeing some of the rationale behind some of these things. It makes me feel like I'm not the only crazy person in the whole world as far as the nuances of pickiness when it comes to these guitars. But both awesome guitars, and you can't go wrong with either one. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed this little comparison. Comment and subscribe, and I will see you tomorrow for a different guitar-related video. Take it easy, everybody.